about Dylan James?
Yeah, player that's obviously saw a lot of excited about him. He won, a championship in the USHL this year, and he had himself a big year. I think played in Okotoks too, so probably be a couple years ago. Things kind of got kind of derailed for him with them not playing, and he made the step obviously coming to the USHL. For first year USHL player, he put up some good numbers. Complete hockey player. We really like the 200-foot game that he plays, used in all situations, just like the path. He's played in Sioux City, had a successful year, won a championship, and he's off to North Dakota. So something, you start looking at that. You look at where he's going. Obviously, when you commit to North Dakota, you're going there to play hockey, and that's something that we really like. So you kind of factor all those things in. We're excited to get him.
Dimitri, what do you like? Did you see much of him?
Video. Yeah. Wasn't allowed over there.
Did anybody in the organization?
Nikolai saw him. Obviously, Nikolai Vakarov, who saw him quite a bit, and then probably as the second half of the season came on. Really starting to talk to Nikolai, and Dimitri started producing, started scoring, started putting up some good numbers. So from there, I was just able to track him on video. Had a lot of conversations over the last couple days of where we thought, we would probably have to take him. And Nikolai was, real comfortable, with our second. He said it's a player that he would really like to get for our organization. So, with that, we think we got, a very skilled, very smart, hockey player. And then, talking to Nikolai, it sounds like, he's a real good kid too. So obviously Nick talked to him when we selected him, and he was very honored and very excited to be part of the Detroit Red Wing organization. And, is familiar with the success that we've had with the Russians. So I think that's obviously pretty cool too when you hear the young hockey players talk about that.
So worth the gamble even with the situation?
He's, he's 18, 19-year-old kid, and he just loves to play hockey. That's what we liked about him. And at the when we were looking at it, we just kind of felt with what we did, how we talked, how we evaluated where he was. He was there on the list because of how he played, and we put him as obviously a prospect that we wanted to bring into our organization. And obviously when the pick came around, we were very comfortable selecting him and bringing him into our prospect pool.
What did you think of the way that it played out for some of the Russian guys? I know the first round, a couple of them maybe slipped, but it seemed like after that there was a lot of them taken in the second and third.
Like I said, these are 17, 18, 19-year-old kids that love to play hockey. That's it. So that's something that we just have to keep in mind. So we did, and in the end, when they're like I said, they just want to play hockey just like any kid in North America or Sweden or Finland, wherever it might be. And that's how we evaluated the Russian players this year. And like I said, we really like Dimitri. Nikolai did a lot of homework on him, which we love. And things came back with a real good character kid, just a kid that really enjoys playing the game. And I think when you watch video of him, you can kind of tell he's having fun out there. And that's something that you love to see. So, somebody that's obviously skilled and has sense and shows a lot of passion to play the game.
Did you know Brennan Ollie was here when you guys?
We did not. No, finally. Todd Beam was getting. He kept looking at me when we were making our selections there, and we had a lot of hat and jerseys. We were going to offer it up to the media if you guys wanted a hat and jersey. So, that was, it's just interesting how some, it's, kind of, decided not to come. Some of the, obviously Dylan James and Tanias Mathern, just, for whatever reason, just decided not to come. But it didn't stop us from obviously selecting them. And everyone, those guys will be in Detroit for training camp. Amadeus Lombardi as well. And those guys are just, so excited to be part of the Red Wing organization. And we're excited to have them.
Speaking of some of these guys you haven't been able to see play in person, how excited are you to have them in Detroit for development camp?
Looking forward to it. I think it's been a different couple years for everybody, and obviously these young hockey players as well. And I think it's tomorrow is going to be pretty special for a lot of the guys that having their names called, and some of the guys that we even drafted last year that didn't have the opportunity, and get to bring them in Detroit. Obviously, we get to have a team meal and bring all our prospects in and just do it normal, do it the right way of a development camp. But I know it was great seeing. We did not know that Brennan was here, and all of a sudden, it kind of over my shoulder, you kind of hear some excitement, which is obviously pretty special. I know his mom and dad, were here, and it's just an incredible moment, obviously, for the family. Everyone knows how much mom, dad, and brothers and sisters sacrifice for their brothers and for their sons, and it's a very special moment. So we were excited that he was here as well, and when he came around the table, you could just really see the joy that he had. So it was obviously a very special moment for him.
Speaking of Vex.
Swedish defenseman, is that a Hawken pick or somebody you saw as well? And
yeah, saw him in Leksand. He's 6'3" and a half, almost 6'4", right shot D-man that that we really liked. And it's when you lose a third round pick, obviously a great trade, by Stevie bringing in the Husso. Obviously very important of something that we needed, and you're just at the time you just kind of you wonder if these guys are going to be there as they go through kind of the whole way. But he was a player that we identified, player that we saw. Obviously Hawken and TC have seen him the most, but we saw him, and now it's interesting now that you're from the couple years of not being able to go to all the rinks, video is kind of accepted in our profession now, so you can actually watch more video than than you were supposed to back in the day. So obviously when we put our list together, we start talking about players and we start hearing it, you get on video and you start watching them, and then you have dialogue. So we really like the path that he's on. I saw him play in the SHL. Obviously played a lot in the J20, and we're like I said, just we like the size, we like the right shot, and obviously puck moving defenseman that we were excited to get.
Speaking of
your third one is director now, right? Like what have you learned in the 3 years about drafting and how it all, what do's and don'ts, all that?
Probably still learning. I think you kind of as you continue to do this, you get a little bit, I think more comfortable and more confident. For sure of kind of, where you're at. Obviously, I mean, you go out and you watch these players all year long. For the most part, it's 2 years long in a normal hockey season. And then, you just really have to trust yourself and you trust your scouts to get the list right. And that's really what we go off of. So I think, it's amazing how, I think if you like a player, you have to get a player. There's when you make a selection, there's a lot of names that come off the board before you're going to pick again. And obviously in round 3 we didn't have a pick, and in round 6 we didn't have a pick. So there's a lot of names that come off the board. So I think the thing that obviously I realize and getting comfortable with that, if we like a player, then you have to take them when you have the opportunity. Don't try to predict the draft or play the draft. So I'd say that's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned over the last couple of years. You want them, get them.
Piggybacking off of that, is your first one in person. Mm-hmm. So what was that like? How did it differ from the virtual ones, being able to see the prospects getting drafted?
Yeah, it was exciting. I think, I think you enjoy being around, obviously all our scouts. We had everybody in as well. It was pretty cool to, have the players. I mean, Marco Kasper's reaction, when we took him in on stage and then up in the suite afterwards was, pretty special. It's, it's very memorable for these guys, and that's something, I know when I was 18 years old and I did it and I went through it, it's something that you'll never forget. And it's the same experience that these young hockey players are having. So I think it's good for everybody. And I think it's just, it's good to have all the scouts around. And then obviously, the whole industry, get to see, I was, lucky, got to see some, of my old teammates, Luke Robitaille, Brendan Shanahan. I was able to talk to Joe Sakic a little bit about E60, stuff like that. So, it was pretty cool to be around that. And obviously Montreal did a first-class job. It's obviously special when you walk into this rink and you look up and you see all the jerseys and all the Stanley Cup banners. So, for my first in-person draft, it was good to be around everyone, and we're excited.
Can I ask you for one sentence on the remaining Amadeus Lombardi?
Yeah, centerman played up in Flint. I actually almost went off script and did the Rock Me Amadeus when I was going to introduce him, but I didn't. I backed out of that. So, he was. He had a good season. He's a centerman, very competitive centerman. Obviously, a guy that we were able to see a lot being up in Flint. So and then had a real good playoff. So he's, we like, he's a skater, he's a worker, and he's very competitive and plays center. So we really like all those things about him.
And Maximilian.
Yeah, another centerman. Obviously plays over in Sweden, Årebo. He was hurt the first half of the season, which we kind of talking to Håkan and TC, we think that might have hurt some of his opportunities to play at the World Championships with Sweden. But the position, the skating, and the hockey sense, those are things that attracted us to him. Yeah, big demon out of North Bay. It's probably about 6'3". He's a good-sized defender. He's got a real good stick. He's pretty mobile defender. Was able to see him play in the playoffs quite a bit this year. So we think we have we like his size. We like he moves well for a big man, and pretty athletic defenseman. Mellenbacher, yeah, obviously up in Muskegon, going into Wisconsin. Owen, probably his first half of the season was probably, if you were to ask him, maybe a little disappointing. Obviously didn't get off to the start that he wanted to, but the USHL is a hard league. And then I think the second half of the season got a little bit more comfortable, kind of got in more of a defined role and played well. But another centerman, with big kid, strong kid, and plays a heavy game below the top of the circles.